Let's see the Invicta in action. Francesco is going to help us today, and he starts placing an adhesive sheet on the machine. As you can see, he is clamping on the machine with a vacuum table, and now, thanks to the V-Studio, he's importing the vector file. He quickly clicks on the camera to start the camera, and later he will position the camera on the first crop marks. Once acquired the first crop marks, the machine will start automatically to search the second, the third and the fourth one if we have 4 crop marks. As soon as he finishes, he repositions the artwork according to the real position of the machine. And then he simply click Cut to start a job. Now Francesco is adjusting the blade depth to perform a keys cut, and the machine will start from the top right, so for the farthest point to the homing position. Now, in this case, we decided to make it simple and we place a single sheet. But theoretically, the machine could work a single sheet in A3+. The machine theoretically could work with multiple sheets, so the operator can put as much as the table can fit and run the operation in one go. Or he could place as a maximum size a sheet of 1 meter by 1.5 meter or 40 by 60 inches if we are in US. Now, as you can see, Francesco has finished his job and is peeling off all the wastage to prove that everything has been done right. So we got our adhesive. The second job Francesco will display to us is a folder on a folding cardboard, and here we have involved cutting and creasing operation. Now Francesco is adjusting the size of the crop marks, loading the file and starting the camera. As you can quickly see, we have different colors for cutting, creasing or inner cut. That's gonna help the machine to know the correct order of the process. This is the same operation, first, second, third and fourth crop marks, and ready to go. Ready to go, and we start from the creasing as a predetermined order that the machine already knows. In the machine, the operator should choose the kind of the correct wheel to do the correct creasing line, and the machine will do all the creasing first. As soon as the machine finished to do the creasing, it will position itself in the homing position, and Francesco will quickly change the head, simply undoing one screw, fitting the cutting knife, relocking the head and confirming the software. We are ready to start the second operation. Now the machine will start cutting from the inner cut, which is supposed to be for the business card holder, and then once it finished with the inner cut, it will start doing the outside cut. In this case, as the previous example, we're working with a single sheet to make the demo much more simple and quicker and to do not bore anybody. But theoretically, I could place 4 kind of four sheet of the same size, which should be 50 by 70 centimeter. Again, the job is finished. Francesco release the suction, remove wastage, and he start folding the folder. So it's proving that the creasing line are correct, checking, and in case you have to put some glue, you could put some glue or double-side tape, and that proved that the machine could be used for prototyping or to run a quick production, a short production. It's checking everything, and now we got the folder, and it didn't take any time. The third operation, it's a particular operation. Francesco has loaded a varnishing blanket plate, which is a typical product for the offset printing industry. It's a kind of polymer that normally it's used for spot varnishing on the paper. Now Francesco is going faster than me. He plays the cutting head, adjusts the blade depth, and the machine will start cutting all these tiny spots in the varnishing plates. So the final result will come as something with some opening on the top and something that is going to place on an offset printer on a roller. Now, to remove all the wastage, Francesco is going to help a very useful tool, a hook. I would call this one a hook, an anti hook, and it will remove all the wastage, all the material that it's not needed. It's takes more time, to remove, that part rather than cutting. See how quick, how good is the result, the tiny details. And now the last part of, the varnishing plates. So the outside, which is supposed to be locked on the crimper. Come on, Francesco. All right. Good job. So here we have our final product. The fourth operation, we decided to use the same material. It's going to be a drawing process. So basically, Francesco is going to use, the machine to write on the material some notes that will be used later on by the operator. So he's going to first fit, a kind of device to set up, the length of the, the pen, which is a standard pen. Now the machine dropping down, the second tool, and it's going to draw the same sign we had cut before, and potentially we could type any test or any other information we think it's worth to have on that material. That it's used for many different applications, for packaging samples, to save the die cut information. All right, and the last operation of today is a V-cut tool, a V-cut job. So Francesco has loaded a gray board and is intended to perform, a V-cut and a bevel cut and a straight cut. So as you can see from the screen, Francesco will do, the V-cut for the four sides that are supposed to be fold. So the machine basically does, not with the full depth, a cut one way and return. And then, the bevel cut for the fold, for the corner. Francesco has increased, the blade depth to cut all the way through. And the machine will cut, the four corners that are supposed to join each other. So this is going to be the third one, and it's going to move to the third one now. And as last, the four corner. Once, the machine finished to cut, the bevel, it will go in the homing position, ready for an edge change. And Francesco is going to unlock, the tool, set the fork in, disconnect the magnet, get the second head, plug in. That's it. Adjust, the blade depth for the second cutting tool, lock it, and press start for the last four cuts, which are going to be, the edges of our, project. So as soon as the machine will finish with the full cut, Francesco will release, for the last time, the suction of the table, clamps up, and it will remove, wastage, clean the V-cut lines, as you can see, nice and sharp. And then, finally, when everything is being cleaned up, he's ready to fold everything in a perfect half cube. That's it, very simple. The last operation is not a demo. We want to show you how quick and how easy it is to replace any cutting tool. Fork in again, disconnect the tension of the magnets, remove the flange, undo the screw, and disconnect, the ROs to remove the Versa tool. And now we're ready to put, the second tool. Tool in, which is much simpler than the other one. Lock, set the screw, and we are full operating again. We clean the table and it's done.